Oh, no, no. I'm on my own computers here. It's we have uh, our cousins up from Virginia,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
so
Okay. Yep.
they're all in our room, and I got transplanted into her room, and I wanted to blur my um, screen, but I don't dare do that because when I mess with my camera, then everything goes down. But
But everything's working correctly right now.
yeah, so Maddie got accepted into all 5 colleges that she applied for,
Really.
and she wants to go to a pharmaceutical college in Boston, up by the um, where the hospitals are, not MGH, but
Mhm.
Longwood Ave,
Yep.
up there in that area. That's where the college is, and she got a scholarship.
Nice.
Not a full scholarship, but she got a
She got
scholarship
a
to.
scholarship. Good, because the
She got
municipal
a.
town engineers don't make that much money.
Yeah, I know. You're not kidding. She'll make more money than I do when she graduates. You
Well,
know?
that's the hope of all parents, that the kids do better than they did.
And let's see. She got accepted to BSU. She got a scholarship there, and UMass Dartmouth, and she got a scholarship there. But she really had her um, heart set on this. I forget the name of the school. It's a PS something. It's
Mhm.
a pharmaceutical health care college. I don't know, but it's a great school, and she's excited. I hope she commutes. I don't want her living in Boston.
Yeah, but you definitely no, you don't want her commuting into town either. Uh-uh. It's good. Believe me, I went through the same thing. Celia lived in town to go to Mass Art.
Yeah, I mean, Maddie's school isn't far from Mass Art.
Yeah, I'm
I
telling
mean,
you.
Mass Art's in that Longwood Ave
Yep,
area, right? Off of
yep,
Huntington.
yeah. I'm telling you. Don't stop her from living on campus,
Did
or
Celia
even
live
an
there?
apartment in town. Don't do it.
Did Celia live there
Yep.
in an apartment?
Uh, Dorm. First 3 years it was a dorm. Actually, no, all 4 years it was dormitories, but the last two were they were suite type things. So it was like living in an apartment.
Yeah,
There was like the last year. The last year was just it was just her and her roommate, but they had full kitchen, private bedrooms. I mean, it was like it was living in a full on apartment. The year before that, it was uh 8 of them, 8 of them in a suite, private kitchen, private bathroom. So again, kind of like an apartment. So
yeah. The cost of college more than doubles.
no, I know, I know.
But Celia doesn't drive. Maddie drives.
Doesn't matter. So she leaves her car at home. She's not going to need it.
Yeah, but if she drove into Boston, a lot of people commute into Boston.
I believe me, I know, I dig it. If she wants to stay there, I wouldn't stop her. You know, you don't want her to, you don't want her to regret not having the college experience.
Yeah,
Unless she doesn't want that. If she doesn't want that, she doesn't want that.
yeah, she wants that. That's why I'm.
That's
That's why
what.
I'm. That's why I'm scared about it.
Now we go.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to cut the cord on that one.
yeah.
It is what it is. All right, who we missing here? One, two, three. Junior and Mr. Galley. And Mr. Galley, you up here. And Mr. Junior should be, Mr. Baker Junior should be rolling in any moment now.
Hi everyone. I'm Brandon. This is my dad Matt. We're the first ones with
Yeah,
the
we haven't started the meeting yet.
okay. Sounds good.
It's off. All right, everybody, I got 7:30 p.m. Gonna just Deb, did you hear from Mr. Baker Jr.? Was he not gonna be attending tonight?
He should be here.
Okay. All right,
I expect him any minute.
I'm gonna start and just and move on. All right, welcome everybody to the February 18th edition, February 18th, 2025 edition of the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals. All members are participating remotely. That would be myself, that would be Greg Tansey, that would be Robert Baker Jr., and that would be Stephen Galley. I'm assuming that Mr. Baker Jr. will be rolling in shortly. All right, and everybody should know this meeting is being taped and live streamed. So with that, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
And second, I got a second right there. Roll call myself as a yes. Mr. Tansey,
Yes.
Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
he's open. Here we go. And there's Mr. Baker Jr. rolling in. 7:30 p.m. Notice is hereby given that a virtual remote public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, February 18th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. on the application submitted by Brandon Little, 51 North Ave, Rockland, Mass. For a special permit pursuant to zoning bylaw 415-9, 415-38.3 kennels other than personal kennels, and 415-89 special permits. Applicant is seeking to run a commercial kennel consisting of doggy daycare school Monday through Friday and occasional overnight boarders. The name of the business is Lots of Love Pet Services and Apparel. There shall be a maximum number of 10 dogs at the day school and a maximum of 5 dogs for overnight boarding. The property is located in the R2 Residence Zoning District, Section 415-9 of the zoning bylaws, and is further identified as Lot 49, Map 34 on the Rockland Assessor's maps. Property is Matthew Little, 51 North Ave, Rockland, Massachusetts. Mr. Little,
Yes.
welcome.
Hello, hello.
Why don't you just introduce yourself and explain to the board, other than what I've just said, what you're proposing to do, sir?
So, my name's Brandon. I have been working with dogs. I got my first dog when I was 17, working officially with dogs for 4 years now. I started last February, out of my house, just having a few dogs here. We usually start here when the weather's nicer. We'd start here, hang out, get some energy out, do some work on the leash, and then we'll go other places. We'll go walks and to different stores and public places to do some different stuff with the dogs. On the colder days like today, we're more here. We're in and out of my apartment and in the backyard. Um, yeah, I've
That about it?
Yeah, it's been a year. It's been going good. All the dogs are great. Try to keep the barking to a minimum, of course. Don't want to disturb anybody. Got all good dogs. They're all very friendly. They all get along great. Yep.
Okay. If that's going to kind of put the end to your presentation, normally normally I open it up to the board members for their, for their questions and stuff. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to Ian, current dog officer for the town.
Yeah.
Ian, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
What do you know? What do you know of the applicant in this case?
Yeah, so when Brandon approached us, myself as the animal control officer and the clerk's office about the kennel, obviously there was a concern because of where it is in a home. But I went out and did an inspection with Brandon. We walked the property inside and out, discussed potential pitfalls, my concerns that I had. The residence is fine. It's clean. It's well organized. He has all the spaces for the animals. The backyard is enclosed, so that was all good. I just, I had some concerns about noise, which obviously I have not had any calls to that location for the past, well, since Brandon's been doing it. So that has not been an issue. And then the only other thing was, because there's other families in that building, would anybody potentially in that building have an issue? And I did tell them, if I started to get complaints, then we're going to have to revisit it. And we definitely, I talked with Liza, the clerk, and the team down there at the clerk's office, and we purposely put the numbers for the location very low. Those numbers are very low in comparison to all the other. We have two other commercial kennels in town, and their numbers up. They can have 100 dogs. So that just gives you the idea how different this one is. I really, Brendan had a good plan. He was, well spoken. He had it all thought out. I didn't have any reservations after I spoke with him. That was my advice to the clerk's office. She concurred, so we issued the permit based on going through the zoning and all of that as well. So
Thank you, Ian. That was important.
I also submitted a letter to Deb to just put in the record, basically saying what I just kind of went over.
No, I wanted to hear directly from you, because I know that every board member is going to want to hear it too. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Start that off, get that going.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to turn it over to the board. Mr. Tanzi, what do you have? You have any questions for the applicant, sir?
Brendan, do you train the dogs?
I do basic obedience training, nothing crazy. We do a lot of sitting and staying and waiting. We do paw, we do basic leash manners, nothing too crazy. I have brought them to different like obstacle courses and stuff. It's more just like confidence boosting rather than like agility training. But yeah,
Okay.
just
Now,
like basic house manners too.
all right. Do you have any formal training or certificates on how to train and manage
Yes.
dogs?
I don't have a specific certificate. I started 2021 in Norwell at a Fox and Hound. It's right behind 7-Eleven and like next to Hilliard's. I'm still there on some weekends. I worked there, I want to say a year and a half. They run 100 and up dogs, so I got a lot of experience there, just learning different dog body language. They put you through all kinds of training, like video and in person. We went to different lectures, took a dog psychology class. I still just do the weekends, take care of the dogs that stay there overnight. And then I went over to the Dog's Den in Pembroke, worked there for another year and a half. That I ran that daycare by myself. That was 40 dogs, up to 40 dogs. And that was just one outdoor area. That was just me. We didn't do much training. It was more just like keeping the dogs safe and keeping them, like giving them everything they need. So I did that for a while and then eventually just went on to do it my own. And before I worked at the Fox and Hound, I was also a dog walker for a good amount of time.
Okay. Do you wash the dogs?
Wash
Do
them?
dog, yeah, do dog washes?
I do. I do a lot of grooming at the Fox and Hound every Sunday. Most every Sunday, I do grooming there. I learned how to groom at the Dog's Den as well.
Now, will that be part of your business? Will that be a service of your business?
Um, yeah, I do advertise it, but it's I not the best commission, so uh I don't want to focus on it too much, but I do grooming, yeah.
Okay. And lastly, is your property completely fenced in?
Yes. Yeah, so there's the one, like a third of the yard is for the dogs. That area is completely fenced in, and then the rest of the yard's fenced in as well, but the dogs don't go in that area.
Okay. So they're in the area that's closest to the house?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Tanzi. Going to Mr. Baker Senior.
You on your application here, you said that it's a apparel too.
Yes.
Do you like selling dog collars and leashes and?
Yeah, that's actually how I like really started. When I was at the Dogs Den, I started making doggy bandanas. They're elastic straps, so they're a little different than your usual ones. They just slip right over their head and they stretch and stuff. So I started with those, did like different farmers markets, got them in Wishbones in Hanover, and then started doing leashes and collars as well and other handling equipment, just like different kinds of leashes and backups that just like secure the leashes. If the collar was to ever come off, you have like a second protection there. And I'm working on like doing some other stuff too, but that's kind of like after school and my free time.
I'm just wondering if he would need a common victor's license to sell the related products.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have them in Wishbones. She just buys them directly from me. And I sell to some clients, but don't have a specific license for it.
You might want to check with the town hall on that.
Okay.
Make sure you need if you need one or not.
Okay.
That's all I had to.
Thank you, Mr. Baker Senior. Mr. Galley, you're up next.
Unmute.
I was afraid I had noise in the background. I muted myself, but it wasn't me. No, actually, I don't have a question. I was reading through some of the letters and answer the question. I don't know if I can, but yeah. So actually, I don't have a question at this time because my questions were answered by some of the documents, like some of the concerns, cleaning up after the dogs and stuff like that. So no.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
All right, understood. Thank you, Mr. Galley. Mr. Baker Jr., welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
Not too bad. How was the ride? How was the ride from Boston?
Oh, I didn't have to do that today, thank goodness.
Good.
I just lost track of the clock, that's all. So to the applicant, the animal control officer made reference to other tenants in the building. Could you give me a little bit of an idea what the building itself is like?
Yeah, it's a 3-family.
Oh.
I'm on the left side, just me in this apartment, and then upstairs there's one tenant, and then the other side of the house is almost like 2 apartments, but it's like conjoined. It's 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to interfere with their activity at all to get from where you are to the yard or wherever the dogs might be?
No, I do walk past the upstairs tenant's car, but
Yeah.
I try to be very respectful of that. She comes in and out and is okay with the dogs. They yeah.
Now, it's my understanding the proposal is that there be a maximum of 10 dogs for daycare. Is that correct?
Yep.
And how many staff would be on duty at that time?
It's just me. Usually I don't get up to 10 dogs. I usually keep it like 6 to 8, but there definitely is days that I have 10.
But you would, if you will have, regardless of how many dogs you have, if there was a daycare, other than having to take a short step away, you would be there the entire time?
Yes, yep.
Okay. And boarding maximum of 5, where would they be?
Totally up to the parents. If they sleep in the crate at home, then they sleep in the crate at here. If they don't, then they're pretty free reign. My apartment's pretty puppy proofed, so there's nothing they can really get to here. My bedroom is literally a room of beds. Like I have dog beds on the ground. They can pick theirs. Sometimes the dogs will bring their own bed and they will stick to that one. It's pretty much whatever the parents want them to do.
And I think you've already answered my next question, but when you are boarding dogs, you would be there for the entire time that they are there.
Yes, they come everywhere with me.
Okay. Whether it's for daycare or boarding, do you do any kind of behavioral assessment before you take a dog in?
I do, yeah. I do a meet and greet. I have a German Shepherd of my own. She's 6 and she is very well behaved. She is pretty much my assessor. I'll first meet the dogs, see how they do with me, just see what they're like around in the yard, see what they're up to, and then I'll bring my dog out and have her meet them, see what their initial reaction is to another dog. And it usually still the first day is like a trial day to see how they do.
Totally unrelated to your application, what kind of shepherd do you have?
A German Shepherd.
No, what line?
Oh, her dad is from Czechoslovakia and her mom's from Poland.
Ah,
Yeah.
my son's has an East German Czech working line. So.
Yeah, she's a working line too. Yeah, they're the best.
They are a little judgmental, but that's anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing further.
Not a problem. Thank you, Mr. Baker Jr. One of the questions one of the concerns that I kept seeing in a lot of the correspondence with your neighbors and the buddies and stuff like that, dog feces. How do we deal with it?
We do have a dumpster at here, and
Where is that located?
it's in the front of the house, and then the back of the house is where I like have like a separate area to like where I take care of it, and then we'll put it in the dumpster when it needs to go in there.
Okay. So you have a procedure for this?
Yes.
I need a little bit more info on the procedure. More than just, I put it over here, and then when it gets too much, I put it over. I need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I pick up right when the dogs go to the bathroom, I have a big trash barrel and then a smaller trash barrel inside the trash barrel, just to like help with any possible smell. And then when that needs to be changed, then I will put it in the dumpster. And then the dumpster gets picked up.
Every 2 weeks.
Every other week. Okay. I'm gonna go to Ian real quick.
Yeah.
Ian, is there any specifics that they have to do when it comes to the pet feces?
No, I think the biggest thing is they got to get it up as quickly as possible and bag it, and secure the bag. Once it's in a bag, it's not going to be an issue. The only way it would be an issue is if for some reason the bags were getting ripped open. But if he's keeping them in an enclosed container and then moving them to the dumpster and they're still bagged up and sealed, shouldn't be an issue at all.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank
Yep.
you. Let me see. What else? What else? I'm assuming that everybody's coming in on the like the curved driveway to drop off the dogs.
I only have 2 clients that drop off, and that's usually from like 6 to 7, and I pick all the other dogs up and drop them all off.
You tell them about your van.
I have a van. It has 4 rows of seats, so all the dogs get in. They pretty much know where they sit. They get seat belted in. They're very good about the van.
Okay.
I was admiring the van today, Brandon, when I went by.
Oh, thank you. It was in the shop for a little bit, but finally have it back.
So far so good. At this point, let's see, building inspector's not here, so I will open this up to the general public. Is there anybody in the general public that wants to speak in favor of this application? Mr. Callen, looks like you want to speak in favor?
Yes, I originally sent a letter in that I was opposed. Today, the father and the son came by the house to introduce themselves. And a lot of my concerns, they resolved a lot of my concerns.
Okay.
And I didn't realize they've been here a year, and I didn't hear them. My concern was the barking, but for a year I haven't heard them. I've heard the rooster that's up there somewhere. But I don't think the rooster's in their yard, but it's up there somewhere. But I haven't heard these dogs barking.
Right.
So a lot of my concerns were, resolved this afternoon. They personally dropped by the house to meet us. So I'm pretty much all right with it.
I would
I
also,
appreciate that, Mr. Callison, Mr. Callahan, thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wants to speak in favor?
I would, please. I just want
Name and address for the record, please.
Yep, my name is Kelly Pincus, and I live on 173 Webster Street.
Okay.
I just want to speak in favor of Brandon and his business. He is amazing with dogs. I literally call him the dog whisperer. My dog has been hanging out with him since she's a puppy. And he is just so sweet with every dog that's in his care. You could just really tell he loves what he does, and he takes care of each and every one of them. And he's one of the only people I would trust fully with my dog. And I think he's just doing great, and he's happy what he's doing. And I think he's doing awesome.
Wow. That was pretty good. You better thank her, Brandon.
Thank you, Kelly.
Of
All
course.
right, is there anybody else who wants to speak in favor?
I would also like to speak in favor.
And name and address for the record, please.
Amanda Crowley, 22 Cornet Stetson Drive. I just want to speak in favor for Brandon because I just want to make it known that he just genuinely loves what he does. He is so good at it. I am really a protective dog parent, and he is one of like 3 people I would trust with my dog besides myself. And he has taught my dog so many good habits when it comes to socialization and confidence. And I truly don't think that my dog would be where he is without Brandon. So just wanted to say.
That's 2 in a row, man. Okay. Is there anybody else that wants to speak in favor? Is there anybody who wants to speak opposed? And I got Eric. Eric, name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Eric Kinshirf. I got my father-in-law on the line. He's 84, so he's not too good with Zoom. He lives at 45 North Ave, which is right next door to Matt's house. So I don't know how Leo, can you say hi?
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Can you hear him?
Yep.
I can talk, or but I'll just to help Leo out, I'll just summarize like some of his issues. He doesn't want it there, obviously. He's concerned with like the noise and the smell. When Leo went in the hospital in October, and my wife and sister out on the porch and they could smell the feces out there. Um, so that's one concern that they have. The parking and the traffic is an issue because that place, there's no parking spots. So if Brandon does such a great job, that business is going to flourish. But the problem is they're not going to have any place to park. You know, if I give them a reference, I'll bring my dog down. So there's no room to grow at that location. It's very limited. So and then the other thing is the concern about the property values too. I mean, when you have a doggy daycare next door to your property value is going to go down. So there's like an economic thing there. And the fact is, it's a residential neighborhood. I mean, I know there's the old dairy marts at the corner, but it's a residential neighborhood, so I don't even so it's just not the right place for it. I think it's a spot for it. And like I said, the concerns are like noise, smell, parking, traffic, property values, and in myself too, I'm like, how is this even a viable business? Because if you only have 5 or 10 dogs, and Brandon's the only employee, I don't know how he's going to be making a living because you have to pay for liability insurance and all that. It seems like that business needs to be scaled up with like a lot of dogs to make it like a viable business. So that's just my own 2 cents. But that's Leo, did you want to add anything to what I said?
Yeah, main thing is that my wife had an operation on her eyes, and it didn't go too good. So when they got the dogs in and stuff like that, a lot of times we got a porch that's right there, 9 feet away, and all the dogs are in probably a 25-foot area. He stands at the top of it. They crap. They do anything like that. Barking a little bit, not much, but that's what happens. And I can't even stay on my own porch. You got to close it down and go inside the house. And we did that before from people in the area that did the same thing with other stuff. But you don't see no thinking about that. They got the dogs come right up to the driveway. There's a fence. And then if they do any fighting or growling or anything, it's right there. But the main thing is that whole area like that it stinks. It had nice grass down one end, and Matt cut a hole for his pipes and everything, and the dogs just total it all. The grass is all gone, everything is, and that's where they all go. You get 5, 10 of them all in that 20-foot area, 25-foot area. You can't do nothing.
Right.
Then he takes them, and that's whatever he does when he goes around the corner. But I think they all go in his apartment, which is better than outside. But you can't have that doing that, because when it comes fall time again, and when it comes summer, we're going to have to be staying in. We won't even be able to use our own porch. So that area is out, to be honest with you. It's not a place for 10 dogs, 5 dogs, even 3. And as far as them cleaning up and putting in bags and stuff like that, yeah, the last couple of days, the only time I've seen him do that. So, but where he cleans it and everything, I don't watch him, but you can smell him. So, but that's the main thing on us. We got, I'm over 80 years old, and I just come out of the hospital and everything, and I got to look at this coming up in the springtime, and I might not even be able to be on my own porch, and neither will my wife. So I know he sounds good, he does good, but you can't, you're not going to leave me out of it, because we need it. But that's about it. That covers it.
All right. Well, thank you for your indulgence for the technology.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now, I had a quick question for Ian again.
Sure.
Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah.
Let's for the heck of it, let's throw out the fact that he wants to do a commercial kennel. All right.
Yep.
How many dogs, if that as a homeowner, how many dogs would he be allowed to have on his property license?
Any Massachusetts residents can have up to 4 dogs at the household without having to get a kennel license. And then beyond that, in Rockland, we have 2 other types. We have a personal kennel and a commercial kennel.
Okay.
Now, what we've done with Brendan is made it a commercial kennel, but we put that strict limit on it for that exact reason because of where he is. So the question of, there's no growth. I think what Brandon's trying to do is establish himself, get the business going, and then look to move to a permanent growth place like a Fox and Hound does, or Five Rings, the true big commercial kennels. And I think that's what his plan is. And that's why in the initial discussions and the inspections and the discussions with.
No, keep going, Ian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. And that's why we set the number where it was. So, and like I said, in the past year, I've had zero calls to my office about noise, about smell, about anything from anybody. So,
okay. All right. And one other thing.
Yeah.
Let's just say the building inspector received some sort of call on this. Would he then direct it to you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've talked to Tom about this, and I said, listen, and I've been very upfront and transparent with Brandon as well through the beginning of this, that we're allowing you to do this. I have no problem with it. I'm okay with your plans, but if we start to get complaints, then we'll have to revisit and see where we're at. And if whatever mitigation is agreed upon is not taken care of, then we have an issue. But like I said, since we started down this road a year ago, I have had no complaints to my office, and I'm the only guy, so I would be the guy that get the complaints.
Understood. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Mr. Eric, you're raising your hand,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. My father-in-law just wants to say something, but just a point for the record. I don't know if ChatGPT is wrong, but it says a kennel license is required for more than 3 dogs, not 4.
No, it's 4.
So is that wrong?
It's 4 dogs.
Okay, so it's wrong. Okay. All right, go ahead, Leo.
AI being wrong. Wow.
Yeah, the only thing I forgot to do, and I heard this gentleman just talking about maybe getting another place or anything, but I had Matt Little told me the other night. He called me and everything, and he said that first of all, he said that he got 200 signatures, and he had a lawyer. He informed me that he had stuff, but at the beginning of it, when they started this, he said, my son's gonna go in and work dogs and everything. And then he said, we're looking for a place, and I think he's got one for the dogs and to live. And then he said that his lawyer told him, you need one word from these guys to put them down. And the word was that I didn't bother him. So that seemed to do it, and he was happy about that because I told him no. But we had got explained to that at the beginning. They're people that live next door. They're the ones who said that they were looking for a place and everything. So
Mr. Chairman, I don't mean to be rude, but we're getting, he said, they said, another person said.
Mr. Eric over there, there's a lot of hearsay going on.
All right.
Yeah. I can't.
Yep. No, that's fine.
That's hearsay. It's true.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
That's fine too. But just
anyway, that's what we talked about at the beginning, and there was no problem. But getting into this.
Oh, it did.
Okay, it just what.
I have to put a stop.
That's fine. I just want to say one more thing.
Thank you anyway.
Yeah, just for clarification, I'm looking up chapter 140, section 137A of the kennel
Did you
license.
do the snow
And it says
plowing?
less than,
Hold on, hold on.
and it says
Mr. Baker
less than,
Senior, Mr. Baker Senior, mute yourself. Hit your mute button.
hey,
There you
Leo.
go. All right. All right, Mr. Eric, now talk.
All right, just a point of order. You said that whoever the animal control officer said was 4 licenses. It says an owner will keep of less than 4 dogs. So it's not just ChatGPT, it's chapter 140, section 137A of the Mass General Laws. It's not a big deal, but I'm just correction, I don't want you to just give false information out there about kennel
It's 4
licenses.
dogs. He's applied for a kennel permit, which is what this meeting is about. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. If he wasn't applying for a kennel permit and he had more than 4 or more dogs, there would be an issue. So you're doing the same thing.
If you have 4 or more, you need a license.
If he has 4 dogs, he has to have a kennel permit, which is what he's getting. If you had 4 dogs, you'd have to get a kennel.
Correct. Right. So I'll just say one thing. The whole purpose of this hearing is to get input from the public. So I think my father-in-law has articulated what his concerns are. Unless you had any other questions or follow-up, those are his concerns. So, I mean, it's your decision, but you have to weigh that out in your own mind when you make the decision.
Yep, thank you very much. Okay, is there anybody else that wants to speak opposed? And hearing none, I'm going back to the board. Mr. Galley, did you come up with any questions since we went through?
No, actually, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with what I've heard. No more questions
Mr.
at this
Baker
time.
Senior, you touching your screen and stuff? Do you
Yes.
want to say something?
The only question I had is, the dumpster being empty every other week.
Yeah.
Could we possibly have it in the summer months dumped every week?
Yeah, we can definitely work on that. I will call the dumpster company and arrange that.
Yeah, I mean, so like from June 1st to October 1st.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it gets hot, and yeah, I can see the issue with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, is there any way that you can kind of describe on your site plan where these two dumping sections are? The front of the big dumpster that's in the front of the house that gets emptied, where is that located on the site?
It's been moving around a little bit recently. Just trying to figure out like the best spot for it for picking it up.
No, you're talking about dumpster or where you handle your
both.
I'd say we're going to start with the dumpster in the front yard.
Okay.
That's the one that gets picked up the most regularly.
I'm in control of that. I actually live out back, and I come around every week, and I kind of make it easier for the dumpster company. So we have a horseshoe driveway, a circle driveway in the front of the house, and like the best place that it keeps away from every neighbor and aesthetically looks halfway decent because it's a busy road. And how do you hide a dumpster? I actually put it dead center of the circle in the grass so cars can still go around. And like I said, I kind of make it easier for the dumpster guy and wheel it out as close as I can to the curb, and then they do their thing, and then I come back when I get home from work and I'll wheel it back into its spot, which is right in dead center of the circle. And my plan is, because I still don't think that it's kind of ugly, a dumpster's ugly in the front of your house. What I want to do is put maybe like a little PVC white fence just right in front of it, so when cars drive by, it looks halfway decent,
All right, so you got that, and then in the backyard, where is that?
That's
okay, where's the feces location collection spot?
So the house is like a U. It's in the middle. Just like in
Yeah.
between the two
Yeah, I was just gonna
sides.
say, so the house is shaped like a horseshoe, which
Mhm.
leaves this kind of like a vacant spot in between everything.
Mhm.
And that's another thing that I'm gonna be working on this year is I'm gonna fence that off completely and give Brandon a gate to that. So now that kind of keeps his dogs out of that area and keeps it in that, believe it or not, that's going to contain his barrel within a barrel, and it just kind of more private. You know what I mean? We're trying to coordinate the yard to make everything as best as possible. And I had also spoken with my neighbor Leon, and I explained to him that we are going to be putting a gate near his property where the dogs really can't get as close as they are now. So I recently tried to explain that to him, and I asked him yesterday when we were talking, I said, he's been doing this for over a year. I said, you have not complained to me once about anything, and I wish he had, given me a chance throughout the year to rectify any of his problems, And a couple of the other neighbors emailed us complaints. We went over and talked to them, and they were completely satisfied with everything we told them. And we tried to do that with Leon. And originally, the number one thing that he had going was a dust issue. So that was that we live next door to a brick building that's under construction all summer. And it was dust throughout the whole neighborhood. It was brick dust for months. They built fences up. They had retaining walls built. And I tried to explain to him, I said, and it didn't rain for the whole summer. We didn't get any rain. So I could see some dust. And I tried to explain to him that, this isn't going to be, that's going to be gone. But he didn't really want to hear that. And I did explain to him, I said, if you had come to me sooner, if there was a problem throughout the summer, I would have handled it and we could have talked about it as a neighborly fashion and taken care of all that. So, but kind of waited till today to kind of throw it on us.
No, it's understood. That's why we have these meetings, so people can kind of get together on that.
Definitely.
Mr. Eric,
Yes, I just want to just talk to the communication things with Matt. I know like Matt's done a great job. He's done some work for our house too. He does good. But my wife called him Saturday night and said, go over and talk with my father again. So I think the communication's been there, and the complaints have been there, but it's just that maybe not an agreeable, like, oh yeah, no problem. So Leo, did you just want to say something relative to that?
Yeah, I just want to explain one thing. Yeah, they listening?
Yes.
Okay. What he just said, we're talking about me on that. I mentioned it before. We talked about it in the beginning. We watched it and we talked about it as good people. And he said that his son was getting a place to rent and so that they can have a place. And I said, good, that'll be good for him. That's it. This is where, I don't know why he's using this, but why I would have had to go over there and complain every single day or every other day or 4 days. He's lying. It's period. I did it because of his son and everything. I didn't say any more to him at all. And he's just trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. But anyway,
okay.
He's wrong.
Thanks.
When you're nice to somebody and then you go along with them and then you come up like this, geez, he didn't even complain. It's an absolute 100% lie. So I'm just letting you know because I may be 80, but I don't want to be crapped on either. Got enough dogs to do that. So thank you very much.
all right, thank you. All right. So, Mr. Galley, I know we have some I'm trying to pull them up here. I know we got some
Yeah.
letters.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have to read them all. Mr. Callahan. We just spoke with him. And I think he took back his. I think he took back his net. His. No,
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
that is correct. Okay. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to make it easy so we don't have to. We don't have to read absolutely every single one.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to? You want me to just like give you the headline of the letters and ask, and you can tell me if you need me to read it?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, because let me see here. Let's see. Application. Does Bob Galvin having a comment?
Yeah, actually, if you want to read Galvin's comments into the record.
Okay. All right.
that's
So,
important.
all right, good. So this is from Robert Galvin, Esquire, Rockland Land Use Council, on an email Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. He said the board will need to be careful with these. Kennels and overnight kennels create a significant amount of noise in the outdoor areas, and this is a residential neighborhood. Robert Galvin, Rockland Land Use Council.
My siblings.
Yep. Let me see here. That's the letter that Ian Davidson, Animal Control Officer, already referred to in his statement, so I know we don't need to read that. He summarized it. Allison Quinn, I have it printed, I think, but Allison Quinn shared comments about the applicant.
If you want me to read them, I have them up. It's up to you.
Yep, I think I printed it right here.
Okay.
You want me to read her comment? Her or overview, or I don't know.
Yeah, where's the overview? Yeah, just give us the basics.
Okay, good. Yep. So regarding 51 North Avenue, overview. This is from Allison Quinn, town planner. Overview. This kennel has been in operation for a year with no complaints to the town's building department, the fire department, or the police department. The applicant was issued a kennel license through Rockland's Animal Control Officer and has been in compliance with all the rules and regulations associated with that license. The applicant is before the Zoning Board of Appeals requesting a special permit to become in line with the town's zoning that regulates land use. There was no intention on behalf of the applicant to operate without the appropriate relief. The applicant was unaware of the need to request a special permit as the kennel license was already issued and his business was operating without any notification from the town that a special permit was required. The applicant has been responsive to our request to appear before this board and has demonstrated a sincere effort to follow the correct process. I defer to the judgment of this board and respectfully request that this information be considered along with this application for a special permit.
Sure.
Allison Quinn, town planner.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We had a letter from Chrissy Burke, a neighbor. The next door, the literal neighbor in the building, that was in favor of it. Did she speak? I read this letter. I can't remember if I heard her talking, if I just remember the letter.
She was the first person. I think she was the first person, the first woman that spoke.
Yeah.
Thank you, because it just my memory was I couldn't remember if I heard her saying it, if it was just so clear in my mind. So okay, so she already spoke.
No, she didn't speak.
She's on a plane to Florida right now, but she
Thank you. Good.
She went to the town hall this morning and spoke with someone, I believe, Deborah.
Is she your tenant? Is she your tenant?
She is a tenant.
Okay. Okay.
She's a tenant.
Yep, the apartment directly beside Brandon Little.
Why don't you, okay, so it wasn't her that spoke. Why don't you read?
No.
Why don't you?
Thank you. I'm sorry. I honestly, it was just the spirit that I remember, the positive spirit. So that's why I couldn't remember if I, in retrospect. So I apologize. So Chrissy Burke, 51 North Avenue, Rockland, Mass. From an email sent today, Tuesday, February 18th. To whom it may concern, my name is Chrissy Burke. I live at 51 North Ave. I live in the apartment directly beside Brandon Little. My bedroom and bathroom windows directly face the backyard where Brandon plays with the dogs daily. When Brandon said he was going to start a dog business, I will admit I was a little worried. I do not want to be smelling dog poop when I have my windows open, and I do prefer open windows instead of an air conditioner. I can tell you that I have never had an issue smelling anything to do with those dogs. I watch Brandon in the backyard with the dogs, and he is picking up after them immediately. My son and I may go in the backyard, and we have never had any issues with anything on the ground. Brandon is super respectful of everyone when it comes to the dogs. He's always checking to see if the dogs have bothered us in any way. I have never had an issue, honestly, 99% of the time. I don't even know. Wait a second. I don't even know he's got them over there. Okay, yeah. I don't even know he's got them over there. Thank you. I can tell you, and anyone who knows me can tell you, that I am not a dog person. I'm not an animal person, but dogs terrify me. Brandon gets those dogs behaving so well. I've never had an issue if we see them in the driveway. The dogs do not bother me, and Brandon makes sure of that. Anyway, I was planning on being in the Zoom meeting tonight, and unfortunately, due to my flight schedule keeps changing, I will not be able to be on it. I really wanted to make sure that I was heard. I mean, I am the closest to Brandon and the dogs. I really love to see his dedication and the responsibility that he takes on and handles like he's been doing this for 20 years. You don't see this kind of discipline in a lot of kids in their early 20s. I would hate to see someone who is doing their best to succeed in life have that taken away. Thank you for reading this. I will not be available tonight due to a flight flying, but I am available by phone or email at any other time. Chrissy Burke, 51 North Avenue, Rockland, Mass.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Jerry Callahan, you said we heard from him.
Yeah, we are. Jerry, are you good? We heard from you already.
Yeah.
He's heard from you already.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much fine with the fellow.
All right,
The
we'll just
little-
go ahead. We'll take his letter and obviously it's going in the file anyway. So
Okay. All right. There's Jill Damon, 267 Howard Street.
Mhm.
All right. So this is Dear Robert C. Rosa, the third Chairman ZBA. My name is Jill Damon. I'm a 30-year resident of Rockland. I'm writing to express my strong support for Lots of Love Pet Services to be granted their kennel license in our community. My mini golden doodle, Holly, has been seeing Brandon at Lots of Love for about 6 months, and she absolutely adores him and gets very excited when he pulls in to get her. I have noticed a big improvement in her social skills and confidence as he works very closely with our pets on behaviors, in community outings, and building on their confidences. As our town continues to grow, it is vital to consider how we enhance the quality of life for both residents and their pets. A day school/kennel facility provides numerous benefits, including 1, socialization. A day school/kennel facility allows dogs to interact with their other dogs, promoting positive behavior and social skills, which can help reduce anxiety and behavioral issues. 2, positive impact on health. Socialized pets are often healthier. Regular playtime and activity help maintain a healthy weight and reduce health issues like obesity and anxiety. 3, support for working pet owners. Many residents in our town lead busy, productive lives. Lots of Loves provide a safe and supervised environment for our pets while we are at work, ensuring they receive the care and attention they need. 4, positive impact on public spaces. With a dedicated space for dogs, we may see improved behavior in public parks and neighborhoods, as dogs will have had a structured environment with training to expend their energy. I encourage the town officials to consider the potential value this kennel brings to our community. I believe that with Brandon's management skills and his love for dogs, this day school/kennel services serves our community well. Thank you for your time and consideration. I appreciate your efforts to make our town a better place for all its residents, both two-legged and four-legged. Sincerely, Jill Damon, 267 Howard Street.
and then there was 2 letters from Jim Armstrong. First one, he was concerned and against. Second one, we'll just had a conversation with him and now he's in favor.
Okay. All right, yeah, so do you need me to read any of that or?
No, I don't, honestly, it
Yeah.
was, he had a change of heart. If he was still concerned, I'd say yes, but he had a
Yep.
change of heart. Everybody's happy. So
We've had a lot of changes of hearts, all in favor.
It was all 3 where they did not know that I had been doing it. They thought it was like just going to be starting. So the concerns for barking and stuff were like, well, we don't have the concerns because we haven't heard anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
very
Exactly,
No,
just like Mr. Callahan said. Yeah, it was great.
No, I understand it. I understand it.
I think that was it for letters for that.
That's what Mr. Eric.
Yeah, just one thing, I will say that the letters are nice, but it doesn't do anything about like the fact of the matter of the effect. I mean, it's just not the right location. There's no question in my mind if you put a dog kennel, doggy daycare, if you were to start a business from scratch, that would not be the location. And it really shouldn't be. It's affecting the quality of life of the neighbors. And that's it. And the only other thing I just want to mention as a point of order, whatever decision you make tonight, I think, the other, I want to mention Attorney Galvin. I have a lot of respect for him. I've worked with him before, and he was cautious, but he'll probably be the one that would have to defend the town in court if it had to get to that point. So if you guys make a decision to affirm, how quick, I think in order to appeal it, we need to appeal it within 20 days or so. So I just want to make sure that we can get all the info and all the discovery and stuff in case we need it.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask Eric a question?
Absolutely.
So Eric, can you unmute, please? Thank you.
Yes.
So I understand from the comments you just made that either you or the person on the phone, should the decision of the board go adverse to your wishes, fully intend to sue. Is that my understanding?
It's not sue. It's called an appeal. It's an appeal. Like if you don't agree with the decision, because there's a lot of discretion by the board in a decision. So it's not suing. It's just appealing the decision. They're going to leave that option open. That is an option to them.
Mr. Chairman, does anyone?
Sir, can I just say something? Finish my thought. You asked me a question. Just like when you go to the assessor's office, you get an abatement and they deny it. You can appeal it to the appellate tax board. Same type of thing. If you go to the ZBA, you don't like the decision, you can appeal it to either the Superior Court or Land Court. So to characterize that as suing, I take offense to that.
If it goes to Land Court, it's suing. End of story. Mr. Chairman,
it's not suing. I just want him to overturn the decision. So a dog daycare is not next door.
Mr. Chairman, question. Does anyone other than the applicant have the opportunity to appeal the decision of the board?
Does anybody?
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The neighbor has standing. Absolutely. The neighbor that lives next door. I can't believe you don't even know that. You're on the board.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Galley.
I think the heart of the question that Eric has at this moment is if he gets a decision that he is not in favor of, who can he call and when can he call someone or contact someone to challenge it? I mean, I always know that you always say to the applicant when they get approved, their guidance. So I think that's the heart of his question right now. Just, is it a question of him going down to the town hall after the decision?
Once the decision is filed, if you disagree with the decision, go to the town court. File an appeal. If that's what you want to do, sounds like you do.
Well, I'm going to talk to my in-laws first because they're the one with standing. I'm just trying to help them out. So I'm going to give them their options.
Okay. I like it when everybody shows their cards at once. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I would second that motion. We're gonna roll call that. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Sr.?
Yes.
Mr. Galley?
Yes.
And Mr. Baker Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we go. Littles. The board will deliberate tonight and you are welcome to stay. You will receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp. 21 days from the date stamp on the decision. Go to the town clerk's office. Request a certificate of no appeal. If no one has appealed, the town clerk will give you a certification and a copy of the original decision. You take those to the registry and have them recorded. One of those conditions is always to show the building department proof of that recording. So there we go. We'll talk about it. We'll decide at the end. All right. So you guys, again, you guys are welcome to stay. We have another one that we have to get through though right now.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you guys. All right. So let
Thank
me
you for the opportunity.
to where I am here, 7:35. Notice is hereby given that a virtual remote public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, February 18th, 2025 at 7:35 p.m. on the petition submitted by Christopher Burke and Abby Dugas, 7 Blossom Street, Rockland, Mass. For a variance pursuant to 415-22 building and lot regulations and 89.1 zoning variances to allow the applicant to add a 24-foot by 22-foot one-story addition to the existing structure. The premises is known as and numbered 7 Blossom Street, Rockland, Mass. The property is located in the R3 Residence Zoning District, Section 415-10 of the bylaw, and is further identified as Lot 101, 40 on the Rockland Assessors maps. The owners of the property are Christopher Burke and Abby, I hope I'm saying this right, Dugas? Yes? 7 Blossom Street, Rockland, Mass. Okay, so now that I got that, let me get to the application. Here we go. Okay. So talk to me, people. Who's
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
Earlier today, I received a communication from Attorney Galvin, our land use counsel, and subsequently had a conversation with him.
Yep.
And in the course of that communication and conversation, he informed me that because I am a direct abutter, I am prohibited by law from participating in both the public hearing and the deliberations.
So
And
my question
I
to
would-
you is, sir, why are you still here?
Because this is the first time, well, no, I'm still here because Attorney Galvin's directed that I should put this on the record, which is what I'm doing.
All right,
So-
now that's understood.
So I have to recuse myself as a member of the board from the public hearing and deliberations. He further informed me that as a direct abutter, I can only remain if I intend to oppose the variance. Otherwise, I have to log out.
Okay.
As I am very much not opposed to the variance, quite the contrary, I'm very much in favor of it. I will now have to bid you adieu.
All right, I'll call you.
So-
I'll shoot you a message when we're all set, so you can come back for the other one.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem, sir. All right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Blossom Street. Who wants to speak to this matter?
Usually my wife speaks, but I'll speak tonight if that's all right. Can you guys hear us okay?
Absolutely. Why
Okay.
don't you tell us what you're proposing?
Yeah, perfect. So we are seeking a variance on our one-story home, which is located on a corner lot. So obviously that provides a bit of unique constraints to the property itself. So we're looking to stay within the existing footprint on the rear and front setbacks. In fact, I think we're a foot shorter on the front setback. But since we are going out to the side, it will go over that corner lot setback. I do believe that even after the proposed footprint, which as you mentioned is 24 by 22, there's still 16 and a half feet to the property line itself on the side. So again, we are remaining within that existing footprint, just going out to the side, single story, not going up. Really the main reason behind this, we do have 3 young kids under the age of 8. Obviously with the current square footage in our house, it is pretty tight at the moment. And with a growing family, we love Rockland. So, we thought that was the best decision to make. But obviously, again, with the corner lot and the proposed addition potentially going over that setback a little bit, we are seeking that variance. I do want to note as well that we do have some space on the other side of the house that's currently, number one, our backyard. 3 kids would be very tough to not have that for them. But also based on the proposed addition plans, financially, significant burden would require us to really rework everything in terms of plumbing, electrical, move that all to the other side of the house, which is just, again, a burden that, would significantly impact the project itself.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna open this up to the board. Mr. Tanzi, do you have any questions for the applicant?
You said that you're occupying the same footprint, the addition? Did I understand that
So
correctly?
apologies, I just meant from the current rear and front setback. So like we're not going out expanding beyond where the current house is, further back or further forward. So it's remaining within the current where the structure is. It's just going out to the side. Sorry if I did a poor job at explaining that.
Okay, yeah, because that's why you're applying for a variance.
Right.
Basically, you're missing the front yard setback. Right, I'm trying to call that plan up. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any further questions at this point. I just want to keep it moving along.
Understood. We're gonna go to Mr. Baker Senior.
I have no questions at this time.
No questions at this time. Mr. Galley.
Thank you. I don't have any questions at the time.
All right, that is now for me. So I'm just doing a little check here just to see what I'm trying to figure out how we can grant this variance. I'm just doing a little doing a little looking on Google Earth here and just checking some of the grades just to see what kind of grading we've got going on. Unfortunately, it's flat. There is no grading. If there was a severe hill or some kind of slope going down on that side yard, I could see making this happen. The other thing that we can look at is, let me just get rid of that. Basically, the paving that's out there is substantially farther away than typical. Usually that back of sidewalk's right up on the street line. So there's a little bit of give there. It's a fictitious looking thing. The proposed setback is 16.3 feet, but you could add another, again, figment of your imagination, you could add another 4 feet to the back of the walk. So it looks like it's 20 feet off the property line, off the street line, but it really isn't. I'm just trying to figure out how we can work with that. And then the other question that I've had is you're removing the roof, right? You're taking the roof down and then there's a shed that's like under the roof. Is that correct?
Yeah, the roof is just the car. I don't even like to call it a roof, but yeah, the carport roof there. The shed itself is freestanding. It's just the carport roof is also the roof of the shed. So we're planning on just removing the carport roof and then just adding, metal roofing to that existing freestanding shed.
Problem with that is now it loses its grandfatherness. All right.
What if we just kept the existing roof that's part of the carport?
Say again?
So if we remove the carport to the end of the driveway, but then that shed still keeps the same roof structure that it has, then that's being untouched.
Well, the thing is that you'd probably be removing the entire roof anyway. From a construction standpoint, you'd have to remove at least most of that roof to make it happen. To build the addition. So you would technically be detaching that accessory shed from the house, and in turn you're losing your grandfather. You're the grandfather aspect of that shed. I'm having a problem with that.
Well, here's a question. How far off of Everett Street is the carport? And is
It's a
the
good question.
carport considered
24.
a
24.
structure?
It looks like it conforms.
You think it conforms? You think?
Yeah, it looks to me like it conforms, because if you pulled out if we had a scaled copy of this, and if you pulled this up, I'm pretty confident that carport conforms and may even be better than 25.
You think it's better than 25?
I think it's
I've
better.
measured it. It is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
You measured it to where?
Just from the original time when we were planning, like from where the actual driveway and carport starts to the actual end of the property line, like when we were just in like the testing, like just looking at things, and that itself is greater than the 25 feet. It's just because the proposed addition, obviously we're going a bit beyond where that carport is. That brings us to that 16 and a half.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But again, I'm having a problem with that, with the accessory shed, because you're gonna have to detach it from the house. So now it loses its
Right.
grand.
I mean, we can remove the shed. It's not a deal breaker, right? Like it's
Is this going to be a garage as well?
no, it's not. It's going to be a living space.
Can it be put on the other side of the house? The addition.
Yeah, so as mentioned, it that would significantly reduce the amount of space that we have for our kids who use the side yard. And additionally, based on like what the actual plans are for the addition itself, we'd have to move plumbing, we'd have to move electrical, all of that would significantly increase the cost of the project. It would just be unfeasible.
And it would be redesigning the entire layout of the house as opposed to just adding on one room to the house.
Well, that's understood. Steve, you were raising the answer?
Yeah, I'm going to say this is a question to ask you as the chairman, just to clarify for me. As far as to determine where the setbacks are, is Blossom Street the front and Everett Street the side?
Because it's a corner lot.
Yeah.
It fronts on two streets. You have to maintain a 25-foot setback off of both streets.
Okay.
15-foot setback on the side streets.
So, okay, so all right, so as a corner, okay, so both are considered fronts. Okay, thank you. I kind of figured something like that, but I didn't know enough. Thank you.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, is there anybody out there that wants to speak in favor of this application? Is there anybody that wants to speak opposed? Hearing none, I'm going back to the board. Anybody have any further questions?
I'm all set.
All set? Everybody's good? All right, board will.
Motion to close the hearing.
There it is. Do I get a second?
I'll second it.
I got a second over here. Mr. Tanzi, roll call. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
Mr. Galley?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Hearing is closed. The board will deliberate tonight, and you are welcome to stay. You'll receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp. 21 days from the date stamp on the decision, go to the town clerk's office and request a certificate of no appeal. If no one is appealed, the town clerk will give you a certification and a copy of the original decision. Take those to the registry of deeds and have them recorded. One of the conditions is always to show the building department proof of recording. Okay, so there's that. And put this down.
Mr. Chairman, can we deliberate this one first before we bring Mr. Baker back?
I don't know if we can take that out of order. Yeah, we can take that out of order. Yeah, let's deliberate. Yeah, let's do that. Well, now I got to bring that back up. Thanks, man. Not that one. This one. All right. Somebody talk to me and tell me how we can justify granting variance. I don't see how.
Well, the shape of the lot, it's an undersized lot.
It's a rectangle. We got a million of them in town. It's not
It's a rectangle, but it's a small, I'm not saying that it's not a rectangle. I'm saying the shape of the lot is a small rectangle.
It's not unique. We got a ton of them in town. and I'm not, again, I need a reason to be able to grant this. I don't see a problem with it, but I need a reason. We need to be able to cite something.
Well, if they don't put the addition there, it's cost prohibitive to put it on the other side because of electrical, plumbing, and they have to gut the interior and rework the internal floor space in order to make it work. So, it's a financial hardship because of the shape of the lot, the size of the lot.
Size has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Size has
We
nothing.
and we didn't see a floor plan on the inside of the house, right?
No, we did not.
Okay.
So 20 by 20, yeah, 24 by 22. They're growing. It's got to be a couple of extra bedrooms. Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be a couple of extra bedrooms at least.
Wonder if they could go up. Then they wouldn't need anything.
Is that correct? No, they need a section 6.
They would.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
would they
because-
need a section 6 to
Because
go up?
the rear of the building's at 14 is at 14.8. Technically, it's what do they have?
Oh, too close. They can see into the other yard.
Well, it's pre-existing non-conforming, but you're prolonging, I guess, not prolonging, but I guess you're maintaining. You know, if you were to go out along the lot line with an addition and a house is parallel at 14 feet, if you go out another 20 feet off of that for the addition, you'd still be 14 feet. That's a section 6 finding because they're pre-existing non-conforming. They're already into the setback. So, like I said, that would be a section 6 finding if they were going straight up. But
So it's a single story home. It's one floor. It's not 2 floors.
I think so. I was pulling it up on Google Earth. Hold on.
Yeah. The deck counts towards the setbacks, right?
Yeah.
There's no dimension here that I can see that tells us how far it is from the. I mean, we have estimates by. I suppose if you try to look at the diagram, you have to.
What are you trying to figure on the deck?
Well, they're saying about how they don't want to lose backyard space. And the question was, could they build the other way? And I mean, what if they had to move the deck? How much yard space are they going to have if they move that deck?
They lose another 10 feet, roughly.
Yeah, that deck is 10 feet.
No. The deck is about the same width.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's about the same width as the carport.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the carport and I'm looking roughly at the carport. It looks like another, 10 feet, maybe 12 feet to the end of the addition ballpark. So they'd lose the deck and they lose another 10 feet of the property line. Or the property line, and another 10 feet of that side backyard.
Oh.
They're actually not following the walls on the addition.
Right.
They're 1.3 feet off the corner.
And that's to maintain setbacks on the maintain the front setback on the Blossom Street and the side setback on that side of Everett. So I mean it makes sense that they're doing it. They're doing it the right way there.
Yeah.
Oh, I need something that's not. I need something.
They probably could have taken two feet off each side.
Yeah, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's going to be 16.3 feet off the street line.
Could they have made the proposed addition as far out as the carport?
Oh, yeah. And again, I'm looking at the carport thinking that that's probably 25 feet or better off of Everett Street. Again, it counts as a, it's a zonable zone. It needs to be consistent with zoning. So technically there should have been a setback on that. But either way. And Deb, confirm with me. We've dealt with this before. It's a four-member board tonight. So that means this has to be unanimous, correct?
That is correct.
Yay. Unanimous, guys. So I don't know. Somebody help me.
Well, I mean,
I understand.
Well,
I hear the financial hardship. I do hear that.
that's all I can come up with.
I mean,
If
we're considering, I'm sorry.
better or different, I'd be open-minded about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as open-minded about it as possible, but
I mean, if we're considering that financial hardship is a reality, I mean, I just don't know. I'm not saying it's not. And we don't have a floor plan that actually tells us where their plumbing is. Like if that's supposed to be part of their concern about putting maybe an upstairs bathroom or something and all that stuff. Could we like deny without prejudice, if that's the word, have them come back with more detailed plans of a floor plan and maybe reconsider their setbacks? Maybe looking at pushing it to the other side a little bit more, or making it as wide as the carport. I mean, that's pre-existing setback.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm generally in favor of giving people another chance to come back.
yeah. He's got a good point, gentlemen. He's got a very good point. I hear the financial end of it. I hear it.
Yep.
You know, in addition,
When it can be redesigned, it can be redesigned. If there was, this is why I was talking topography, if there was a slope, if there was a giant knob of ledge, if there was some reason that it couldn't go over there other than the fact that plumbing and electrical would have to be reworked. And that's general construction, and that tends to happen. It's going to have to be reworked anyway. Things that, especially if there's a bathroom in there. So
yeah. Well, the cheapest construction is to go up. It would be to put, a partial or a second floor, and then you're not dealing with excavation. You're not dealing with concrete work and foundation work and slab pouring, and your plumbing is usually pretty easy, a lot easier. Your electrical, you don't have to really switch things around. You just have to extend wires up into the second floor.
I'm looking at their house right now, and I really can't see their foundation. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of foundation this is on. I don't know if this is slab. I don't know I don't know what kind of construction this is. So they may not even be able to go.
Yeah.
The slab might not support a second. It might not support a second story. No, and it's, again, like I said, I would love to. I absolutely hear the financial end of it, but I just don't see it being. I don't see it being feasible. There's a lot that's going to have to be reworked anyway, because that's also where all the electrical's coming in. The electrical and the cable and stuff that's coming in on that side of the house too. The electric meters over there, and there's a lot, there's a lot that would have to be, redone anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. Who wants to make a motion here?
I'll make a motion to grant.
Okay. Got a motion to grant. I got a second?
Second.
Got a second. Just remember, in the decision, I'm gonna need a reason. We're gonna need a reason to be able to grant this. So, before we take a roll call, what's the reason? Because if you say financial hardship, everybody's gonna use that.
Well,
I haven't heard a reason yet. Just to say that out loud.
All right. Well, here's the reason. You've got a setback requirement that's really intended for a lot larger lot. The setback requirement is really intended for a conforming lot that has, 32,000 plus square feet of lot area, and this has substantially less than that. And when this lot was carved out and created, the current setbacks were not in place, and the siting of the house was sited on current zoning. And then with the advent of the new zoning and setback requirements, it makes it very difficult for a homeowner to do anything to modernize his house to accommodate his family. If you were to create, a postage stamp a zoning ordinance with a lot of these sizes, 65-foot width, 100-foot deep, less than 10,000 square feet, you would not create that zoning district and then apply a setback requirement like what this lot is currently subject to. You would have a lot less restrictive setback to make more effective use of the land. Otherwise, you're creating a hardship if you don't. So the hardship is setbacks are imposed on a lot that when it was created, there's no intention of this lot being subjected to the current setback requirements when it was created.
Sure, because it's an R3. It's an R3, and I'll bet you if you got, I'm gonna look into it a little bit further, but I'll bet you this was in an area of all those, those 5,000 square foot lots that were on top of each other, and people were buying 2 at a time, 3 at a time to make one lot.
I don't know. I mean, it looks like Mr. Baker Jr.'s house has got the same lot size.
Coming close to it.
Yeah, close to it, approximately.
All the lots in this neighborhood are like that, small.
These were probably post-war vintage houses that sprang up to accommodate the veterans coming home.
Most of them are built for the shoe factory workers.
Yep.
Yeah, those two.
And if you look at Mass Mapper, it's hilarious. If you look at Mass Mapper, Bob's house and their house are connected as one. It's like one big house. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, they are about the same size.
We never adopted a change that would allow us to reduce setbacks by the size of the property in a ratio to the minimum lot area, right?
Wait.
Steve, that's a good idea.
Because we talked about it a few times, and I don't know when we'd be able to do it, but I'd be strongly in favor if we could ever make a ratioed setbacks based on the percentage of the property that's smaller than the minimum lot area. But we don't have that in effect yet, as far as I'm aware of.
No, we don't. We don't.
No.
And this is a case for
There
it.
has to be more. It's a reasonable case for it. We have to talk a lot more about that.
Yeah.
But I will point out, he's gonna hate me for this. I will point out that Mr. Baker's garage is
It's on the property line.
it's on the property line.
It's inches
about
off
10
the
feet
property
street,
line.
and it's about 10 feet off the street. I can see why he's in favor. So the neighbor, the closest neighbor that would be affected by this is even closer to the street.
Yeah.
And what
than
this is.
Well, I think you found your reason for a variance. Because that wouldn't even set a precedent unless there was somebody else that was in the same situation.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That makes an art that it technically makes an argument for what do you call it? Average front setbacks. Average front setbacks. In the town of Hingham, they have a part of their zoning bylaw that talks about average front setbacks. You can be as close to the street.
Modal alignment.
Yeah, modal alignment. You can be as close to the front, you can be as close to the street as your neighbors are on that side. And it's up to the surveyor to, draw a plan that to prove it, to show that, the next 5 people are all, closer to the street.
So then we need them to come back with that documented.
Yeah, technically, yes, but I think in this instance, we could cite this and say that the next door neighbor who's most affected by this, who would be most affected by this, their structure is even closer to the sideline and closer to the street than what the applicant is proposing. Well, I'm not going to say this is unique. The way that we're working with this would be a unique situation and would give anybody else the ability to cite this and say, hey, well, you granted their variance based on the fact that these guys were 5 feet off the, you know what I mean? So it would give a viable precedent. Mr. Baker Senior, what do you think?
I mean, it doesn't make the lot less attractive.
Right.
It's not really any more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Not really. This was a Section 6 finding, and we'd be able to make those findings and stuff, but we're granting a variance that's gonna run with the land. So no one's against this, and I've got a motion to grant. I've got a second. Gregor, can you word this anyway? In your motion, word this somehow?
The justification for it?
Yeah, justification for it.
It's justifiable because of modal alignment principle and harmony with the surrounding neighborhood. It's unfair that some people, the neighbor gets to avoid both setbacks, the front yard and the side yard. And he's held to a standard that is unrealistic, and it isn't fair.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
In support of what Mr. Tanzi was saying, if you look at the neighbors' properties up and down Everett Street, many of them look like they're clearly, what's that?
We're all 25 feet off Everett,
All of them?
all of them. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay, because like I said, when you look at it, it looks like they're closer.
When
A
you look
lot.
at when you look at 180 when you look at 180 Water Street, all right, you look at
Yeah.
11 Everett, you look at 19 Everett. I'm gonna say you got, wait a second. Hold on. Hold the horses.
Everett Street is a 50-foot
I got
layout
20
too.
I got 29, I got 29 feet on 11. I got 26 feet on 180 Water. Other than the garage on Mr. Baker Jr.'s house, I got 25. 35 Everett. And again, these are all on the same side of the street. I got 28. 43 Everett, which is going the other way. That's a little bit closer. And 47 Stanton. That's houses left and right. The block left and the remainder of the block right. So average front setback wouldn't necessarily help here, other than the fact that that garage at 19 is like 5 feet off, is like 6 feet off the street line. So, and unfortunately, we don't have anything in the bylaw that talks about this, but I think we can work with this. I think we can cite the fact that it's no more detrimental than the neighbor next door.
Yeah. He's got a neighbor next door, it won't impact him.
It's not going to impact them, and it's not going to be any more, and it's not going to be any more detrimental than the neighbor is, already. Now watch this though. No, it's non-habitable space, but it's attached to the house. So technically it would have to be conforming. So it is what it is. All right, one more time, Greg. Word this correctly, my man.
When the lot was created,
Just straight justification. I don't need a once upon a time.
right, the setbacks that are imposed on it, on this shape, the lot of this particular lot size, are impracticable. It would, and the relief that they're asking for does not impact the neighbor, the only neighbor to the structure, because the neighbor to this, the neighbor is by far more in violation of the zoning than the applicant.
You got that, Deb? Mr. Baker Senior, do you want to still second that motion?
Yes.
Roll call. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Self is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
Gally?
Yes.
Done.
What's your vote?
Oh, I'm in favor.
Okay. Well, you want to get it on record.
Oh no, as long as there's something that we can justify, and I think that based on what you said, that's justifiable.
Yeah.
It's impractical for this lot specifically, because
and it also can't affect the neighbor adversely.
Yeah.
Because of the nonconformity of the neighbor.
Yep. So variance I'm in favor for. The only thing,
Variances are based on the lot. You know, each one, you have to look at it and see if it's viable.
oh yeah, oh yeah. The only thing that
Someone
we-
else could come in and say, well, you did it for this guy. Well, we did it because of this.
Yeah,
But
we
you
did.
don't have this problem.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, so right now, before we go on to the next one, my one concern is, and we didn't put this in as like a condition of the variance. To make certain that the accessory structure, that shed, gets removed, because once it gets detached,
Right.
it loses its grandfather status. So I would make a motion to reconsider the last motion.
Second.
I got a second on that, Mr. Baker, is that what I heard?
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
so, motion to reconsider, Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
myself is a yes, Mr. Baker Senior,
yes.
Gally,
Yes.
okay, so I would like to make a motion identical to what Mr. Tanzi made. The identical motion that Mr. Baker Senior seconded, with a condition that accessory shed is either removed completely or moved to a zoning compliant area on the lot. As long as it's 5 feet off the lot line, you should be fine.
Right.
So
I'll
that
sec-
would, everybody understand where I'm going?
Yes.
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 So that would be the motion that I'm making. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second on Mr. Baker. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Self is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
Gally?
Yes.
Perfect. Deb, you got that, right?
Are you making, is your motion to add that as a condition?
Add that as a condition.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Other than that, and Mr. Rule was gonna require a foundation as built and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Because this is a variance situation, so Mr. Rule is always gonna require a foundation as built. Okay, so that takes care of that. Abby, are you guys still there?
Yes, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Not a problem. So again, Deb
And hi,
has,
Terry. Thank you, Terry, for clapping.
Deb has 14 days to put together the decision, and then 21 days after that, go to the town clerk, get a certificate of no appeal, record it with the registry of deeds, show proof that you did to both Deb and the building inspector, build your addition.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank
luck.
you.
Good night. Good luck.
Bye.
All right, guys, what are we talking about next?
Got to give Mr. Baker Jr. a call.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I think he's sleeping.
I'm not available to take your call right now. Please leave your name and number, and I'll return your call as quickly as possible. Thank you.
He wasn't even watching the.
No, he wasn't. Time to come back, sir. I'm just gonna text him. That's
Rob,
funny.
send him a text.
That's what I'm doing now. Oh, going to film that. All right. There we go.
Gonna let him know his house is not gonna get egged?
We'll give him a mess of crap when he comes back.
Yeah.
Yo, Mr. Baker Jr., we had to alert Mr. Tom Rubel that your garage is too close to the side and too close to the front. He's gonna come to you with a cease and desist. Deb, out of curiosity, do you have any decisions on like a previous kennel that we've had? Just trying to think of conditions, if we were to go that route.
There was
The
the thing
one
on
up on Pleasant Street.
Do you have that accessible? Is it on the website?
It should be. It's kind of screwed up, but yeah. I think it's under, I think it was at 53 Pleasant, maybe. I think.
John, it's a self-storage place.
It's not 53 Pleasant, maybe 273.
Yes. 265, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. Findings, decisions, that to do, operate, commercial, ooh. 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 Do you guys want me to, do you want me to email this to you, or do you want me to just, when it comes time, we can, if we get to the point where we want to make, conditions, I can just share my
Just
screen?
put it up.
Is that fine? Okay.
Yeah.
Look at us being all technologically advanced and being able to pull stuff up just randomly like that. Like that.
Or you could look at the zoning bylaw and just condition those conditions.
Do that too. When was this? What was the date on this one? The meeting, this was filed in 2021. Yep, this was me, Greg, Tim, Mr. Baker Jr., Mr. Baker Senior, and Mr. Galley. All of us. Nice. Since 2021. Not bad. I still don't have. Mr. Baker fell asleep, I guarantee it.
Y'all do your ethics thing?
Good evening, sir. Are you ready to come back? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
My recertification's on my to-do list.
Supposed to been done by the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mine. All right. He says 30 seconds. I say bathroom break. Totally forgot about that.
Okay.
All right.
They're taking a quick break. They'll be back in a minute. You're muted.
You know, I said if I hadn't forgotten to take my phone off silent, I probably would have heard Rob the first 2 times he called.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
I think you're being kind, but that's all right.
I hear you. Yeah. So they granted the variance.
I'm sorry?
The variance was granted.
Oh.
So they deliberated out of order. So we didn't
Oh,
call you
really?
back and then make you
Oh.
leave again.
Oh, thank you. That was very nice.
All right, here we go.
How's it going, Rob?
Baker, there's Tansy, there's Baker Senior, Mr. Galley. All right, well, now we'll make it waiting for Mr. Baker Senior. I think he decided to use the facilities also.
How's everything going, Rob?
It's cold.
Yeah.
Not really a lot I want to do outside right now because it's cold. So
You doing indoor work right now?
trying to do as
Yeah.
much as possible. So
Yeah. I do. Been doing a little bit of surveying and GPSing and
outside, what are you
Yeah.
crazy?
not today.
I was
Not
going to say
today.
you're municipal. You should be you should be staying inside as much as possible.
I do.
Do as little work as humanly possible. You work for a municipality now.
No, I've got a bunch of stuff I have to get done. And I've been doing the field work, but I do it around the weather.
No, I dig it. I dig it, like all of us. All right, Mr. Baker Senior, you ready to go? Yes? Okay. So, I'm gonna start this out with Ian Lightsome. He's the animal control officer. He doesn't seem to have a problem with him. The only person that seemed to have a problem with him was the neighbor on the direct right side. There's a question as to whether the complaints were actually made to the Littles. I don't know. I would be in favor of granting this special permit with conditions. And one of the conditions would be that it has to do with it would have to be complaints made directly to the animal control officer, or if they're made to the building inspector, that they're forwarded to the animal control officer. Complaints would always have to be written complaints. They can't just be phone calls. They can't just be hearsay. They have to be a written complaint.
Written and signed.
Yeah, written and signed, something like that. I think we can
And
put that.
dated.
I don't think you can condition that.
Yeah, I said that, so that can be a condition. That's other than that, I don't, again, Ian was okay with the dumpster locations, the dual dumpster locations. Again, I don't have this letter.
The only other thing, the condition is that the dumpster be emptied once a week during the months of May, June, July, August, and September.
June through September.
Well, May, let's say May.
May through September, that's fine.
Yeah.
Dude, go May through October. It gets warm in October.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say have it done once a week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think that gets kind of expensive, particularly for the months where it's not going to be needed.
Well,
And while I'm not trying to minimize the odor concern, Ian was pretty emphatic as to what it would take other than weekly pickup to keep the odor under control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they put their regular household rubbish in that dumpster too. It's not just the dog waste.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah.
So, I mean.
Wouldn't you have that picked up every week anyway?
It should be. You're gonna smell the household garbage in the summertime worse than.
Well, but they've been doing that right along anyway, haven't they?
Right.
Don't know. I don't know how often they have their garbage picked up. We're saying every 2 weeks. That's am I spoiled because I get my garbage picked up every Monday?
No, I'm not disagreeing with the every week, just not necessarily May through October.
Okay.
Well, we could say all year long.
But if you're doing it for odor control, why would you need it picked up all year long, particularly in the colder months?
I hear what you're saying. All right. We know that that's an issue. We'll get to it. I'm gonna put up the conditions that we did for the last one.
Pleasant Street.
265 Pleasant Street. I ended up finding their stuff. All right, talk to me. Can we see this?
Yes.
All right, number of dogs at any given time from now until the area is inspected by the building engineer for compliance with these conditions is limited to greater than 75. So obviously that first one, the number of dogs at any given time for doggy daycare is 10.
Yeah.
And number of dogs for dog sitting or
dog boarding
would be 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Overnight residents.
All right, so we're there on that. Shall abide by the provisions of the zoning bylaw, which states that no dogs shall be outside between however the board agrees and authorizes a social shore supervised bathroom break. Yeah, we can obviously we can a short supervised bathroom break. Okay. The inside of the structure, as well as outside play areas, need to be kept clean, sanitary, and humane conditions, and shall be subject to inspection by the Rockland Animal Control Officer as per that. I think that's right. That works. Dogs shall be provided access to shelter, which will protect them against inclement weather, and shelter shall be kept clean and sanitary. I think we can deal with that. We can put that. The applicant shall maintain a written plan in place for off-site disposal of solid animal waste and shall provide a copy of the plan to the building commission.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yes, everybody good there?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
also
that's
say
good.
I would say building commissioner, zoning enforcement officer, and the animal control officer.
Yes.
Tag him in there too. Ian shall be permitted at any time to inspect or cause to be inspected any kennel, and if in their judgment, the kennel is not being maintained in a sanitary manner, if the kennel is being operated in such a manner, is not proper. It's temporary revoke that refer the board matter to the Board of Selectmen for a hearing pursuant to applicable law, and to refer said matter to the zoning board of appeals for with that one. Everybody happy with that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shall keep and maintain on-site current rabies certifications for all dogs which are kept at the kennel, including for doggy daycare for boarding. I think I like that one too.
Yes.
There shall be no more than 10 dogs outside during the daylight hours within the fenced-in area at the rear of the building, and they must be supervised by employees who are outside or by video camera, which has the capacity to monitor noise so that excessive noise can also be monitored and controlled. He didn't say anything about cameras, but heck, we can give him the opportunity to get better.
That was
right?
because there was over 25 dogs at the other place.
Yeah. It's also
So
an
I'm not saying-
option.
Yeah, it's an option. I'm
It's
not
an
saying
Option,
it
not a
has to happen.
requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hours of business operation shall be 7 to 7 and no pickup or drop off after 7 PM, except in the case of an animal emergency. I can take that. Pursuant to provisions of that, of the zoning
He said
bylaw.
he has some people dropping them off at 6.
Yeah. 6 AM.
Yes.
Well, I think he said only 2 people did the drop off.
Yeah,
Everyone
Right.
else got picked up, everyone, all the other dogs got picked up by the van, so.
yeah.
I mean, even if we said yes to 6 o'clock for 1 or 2 of those people, and I don't know if it's both, I don't
Yeah.
think that would be a burden on the neighborhood.
No, I don't think that's
No.
gonna be a deal. Should we should we change that to, it says 7 AM to 7 PM? You wanna change that to 6 AM to 6 PM?
I'm fine with 6 AM to 7 PM.
Perfect.
I am too.
Yeah, me too.
And no pickup or drop off after 7 PM excepting a kid. Now, we didn't talk about this, but the zoning bylaw. A vegetated buffer zone is required. The applicant demonstrated that there is at the time of this hearing an adequate existing buffer. Okay, Okay. So. Let me just pull this up. This is what is this, 51 North?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is proof that I'm the oldest person here. This thing absolutely amazes me.
North Ave. Well,
Hold on. Not even close. 51 North Street. North Ave. All right, let's try that. All right. That still didn't come up in the right place. Right here. Everybody see that?
Yep.
All right. Did I freeze up too bad?
yeah.
We'll get rid of some of my. Okay. Where are we? Right here.
Yeah.
I can't tell if there's any kind of buffer.
Well, there's
Where do we want the buffer?
Somewhere back here.
Like
Oh,
along the side?
a whole bunch of trees on this side.
This is that electrical, the electrical building that we don't
Right.
know what with
It
yet.
looks like they shrubs, bushes down the
Right down in there.
west side. Yeah.
Over
Yeah.
here.
That
it's
old
hard-
that old fence has been replaced too.
This right here.
No, on the other side. When they did the electrical place over,
Okay.
all this fencing was replaced.
So I can't tell. It looks like Okay, so back here is where the dogs are gonna be. It looks like there's natural stuff here. The fence was over here. This
Yeah.
fence was up against this. It's hard to tell.
There's a big tree there.
So, okay, so I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna get rid of this. So no more than that, I was there pursuant to okay. Pursuant to provisions that of the bylaw, vegetated buffer is required, pursuant to provisions of 415-38.3 D.3 of the zoning bylaw. Applicant must provide evidence that a vegetated buffer zone is in existence. And if not, then applicant shall provide a vegetated buffer zone between the outdoor canine recreation area and the direct abutters. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yeah, just a question on what constitutes a vegetative buffer. And the only reason I'm asking, it looked like on the map, and I think Mr. Baker Senior pointed it out, there's a tree there.
Yeah.
Now, a vegetative buffer wouldn't require the removal of the tree.
No, I would think you would add to it.
Okay, that's fine.
Throw down a couple of arborvitaes next to it or something like that.
Yeah,
There could very well be something there.
Right, we don't know because of the foliage in the tree. Yeah.
Exactly. And the sheer fact is that anything that is there, at least in the pictures that we saw on Google Earth, that's deciduous. That was all during the summer. During the good weather. Those could lose all their leaves during the winter.
Well, and that was my concern about the tree, that does in and of itself constitute part of a vegetative buffer. And if it didn't,
let's see. Hours of dumpster pickup and pet dog waste removal shall be during the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Every week.
You want to put it there every week?
Yeah, put it right there.
Every week year round?
Yes.
Well, I thought that was gonna get too expensive for him.
For the size of the business, I think it will be.
True. By the time you add in, I was going to say by the time you add in the fact that everybody else's
Three apartments.
Yeah, the 3 apartments worth of residential waste is also going into the same dumpster. But this has been in operation for the last year. So for the last year, they've all been using that same dumpster. So we don't really have good record of any complaints. So if we had a record of complaints or something like that, I think we can, I don't know. And it's been going on for a year the way that it is right now. Hours of dumpster pickup and pet dog waste removal shall be between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Leave it that way for now. I want to see if there's something else that talks about it.
Yeah.
The number of dogs shall be 10 in total, with no more than 5 for overnight boarding for 1 year from the date stamp of this decision. After 1 year, the number of dogs for boarding, we don't want to increase the number of dogs in the backyard, right? Okay, so after 1 year, the number of dogs may be increased upon further application and approval by the board at a public meeting after a 1 year period of time, provided there is compliance with the conditions of the special permit and the operation of the. Do we even want to say that?
No. Let's keep it down to 10.
Okay, so let's strike 12. 100%?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
strike 12. This special permit authorizing a commercial tenant granted specifically to the applicant and is non-transferable shall be null and void upon the sale of any. Who's the name of it? Who's the name on the application? Who's the name of the applicant?
Brandon.
Brandon? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Brandon,
it's not his father.
Right. Brandon Little is the applicant. The property owner is Matthew Little.
Okay, so here's the question. Brandon lives there.
right.
Can you have the special permit expire if he relocates his business to another location?
A new
What happens if he
Yeah.
moves? But
Well,
still,
he'd have to get another special permit. Make
Right.
sure that where he's moving to meets
yeah, but what
our
if he wants to keep
requirements.
it where it is?
What's that?
What if he wants to keep the business where it is? This is not contingent. So far, nothing that I've seen is contingent upon him living there. He just happens to live there. You hear what I'm saying?
You mean
Make a
someone else could
condition
take
where
over the
it could
business
be-
in the location?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
make-
saying.
He has to live in the location. Yeah, he has to live on the premises.
Can we say that?
Owner occupied business or whatever.
Can we say that? I
What's
want to
that?
say. I'm just wondering if we can say that. I want to say that.
Yeah, we can say that.
What if we put,
One
grant
of the
the
conditions is-
specified to his name and is not transferable? And shall be null and void upon the sales of all or any part of the business or the property.
Yeah, if we were to make it specific to him, to
Right.
that address, and it not
Right.
be transferable to anyone else or to any other address.
Right.
Okay. You got that, Deb?
Yep.
Okay. Striking 12, the special authorized commercial has specifically granted the applicant, so we made that work. The special permit shall be recorded after the issuance of a certificate of no appeal from the 29 special permit is not valid until it's the outside pen area shall be fenced in with
Solid wood or vinyl. Well, the father said he was gonna fence in the back, that horseshoe in the back for him. And that's where the dogs, all the dogs are gonna be.
We didn't even, this is my bad, I should have asked, what kind of fences were out there? I know we looked at Google Earth and we saw chain link on the left with stockade. And I
Right.
believe we saw stockade on the right.
Well, it states right there, solid wood or vinyl. So we'd have to put that in. He hasn't put up the fence yet. He said he was going to.
No. He's got fences all the way around. The whole place is fenced
Right.
in.
But he
Only
was
thing-
gonna fence in that horseshoe and use that only as.
The pet waste area.
Oh,
He's gonna keep
okay.
dogs out.
Yeah, let me ask, what is the purpose of specifying the type of fence?
Because they could put up picket fence.
Yeah.
The solid wood or vinyl would shield the neighbors from seeing the dogs.
Yeah, give me.
Well, it would and it wouldn't. It would up to the height of the fence if it were a solid fence.
Right.
But that didn't seem to be the issue with one of the individuals who spoke. And I based on what I think it was, I don't know actually which one of the neighbors mentioned it, that their kids enjoyed seeing the dogs, I think, through the fence.
Right.
So the type of fence there now doesn't seem to be posing a problem.
Issue.
No, it doesn't.
And if so, how I don't know if we'd want to do a solid fence, a vinyl fence, or a chain link fence.
If I start to lag out, just excuse me, I'm pulling up the zoning bylaw. I want to see if it specifically says in there.
Yeah.
Like style offense. Can't remember if it does or not.
I think that was more specific to the Pleasant Street one.
Agreed.
Because the people at the apartments on VFW were.
So it's 30, 415, 38, 3. Kennels and other. Purpose, description, criteria, conditions, can do areas used for outdoor shall be fenced. Aha! Areas used for outside activities, pens, shall be fenced in with a solid wood or vinyl fence with a minimum height of 6 feet and shall have a minimum of a 15-foot setback from the side or rear property lines. Shall be no outside runs or pens within the front yard. The area between the property line and the fence shall be landscaped with evergreens, a minimum of 4 feet in height. As to lessen the noise being carried to abutting properties, evergreens shall be planted at least 30 inches apart along the entire property lines and shall be maintained and replaced immediately if they die.
Okay, then the tree is a problem.
Well, the tree could be the first one and the all could be planted 30
The tree isn't an
inches
evergreen.
away. Oh. Well, you can plant it around it. You can't keep the tree?
Okay. So. Yeah.
My opinion, I think that would be kind of
Overkill?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I just, with that language, I don't know.
I don't
the
know
way
if we're
around
getting around it.
money. You know, and they would be a financial.
No, this is special permit. This is a dab.
If you're gonna put up arborvitaes, 4-foot arborvitaes, 30 inches apart, that's gonna cost you probably $5,000 or $10,000. Through buying them and planting them.
You're looking at $30,000. If you have to do the fence, the landscaping, you're in it for 30 anyway.
Right.
It's crazy money.
But he's only allowed up to 10 dogs maximum, and as Ian stated, like the Pleasant Street kennel, they can have up to 100 dogs.
Right.
That's a big difference as far as like screening purposes, I think.
Can you go over that language again, Rob?
Yeah. This is 415-38.3 kennels other than personal kennels. This is just so we're clear. This is kind of a hybrid, I think. This is a hybrid of the two. So, okay. Oh.
Hey guys, can I ask something?
Nope.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no.
The public portion of the meeting is closed.
What about like slats on a chain link fence? You know, those things you can stick through the fencing?
Yeah.
That would be like screening, right?
I think we've used that before. Let's see. Conditions. This is actually, let me share my screen. All right. Oh, let me share screen. Share screen. All right. Everybody see this?
Yes.
This is just so we see 415-38.3 kennels other than personal kennels. So this is commercial kennels. Conditions: the applicant shall meet all the requirements in applying for a special permit, plus the following. Uh, Technically, the site plan was severely deficient, but we discussed everything. Areas used for outside shall be fenced in with solid wood or vinyl fence, da, 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 shall be no outside runs, da, da, da. Did the let me get to the plan here. I got stockade fence here. We saw stockade and chain link over here. This just says fence. This just says fence. Not so worried about it yet. How was the other one? Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. Areas used for outside activities shall be fenced in with a solid wood or vinyl fence with a minimum height of 6 feet and shall have a minimum of a 15-foot setback from the side or rear property lines. Okay. The area between the property line and the fence shall be landscaped with evergreens. 30 inches apart, that shall be maintained and replaced immediately if they die. Runs and pens, whether inside or out, shall be provided and shall not be less than 36 inches wide for a dog weighing not more than 45 pounds or 40. Shelter from inclement weather. Applicant must have a plan in place for disposal, which we talked about. The applicant must meet and maintain compliance with all federal. I don't know if we put that in there, but we should put that in there for a condition. There shall be no dogs outside between sunset and sunrise. We should put that in there too.
Well, I think, didn't we discuss that before about with the exception of there being a bathroom break or whatever the phrase was?
Shall at any time inspect, I think we already, yep, we also said
That was in there too.
Yep. Okay, guys, so how do we deal with the fencing? The fact that it's not 15 feet off the property line and the fact that the applicant did not propose any screen.
Well, it said 15 feet setback side or rear.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say side and rear.
Meets structure the stamp for 16 setback from the side or rear property lines. I think they mean both. I think the intention was both. But the area that he's talking about, the rear, is significantly more than 15. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried there.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Everybody see this site plan again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be the rear fence. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, then he's,
Worried
yeah.
about this fence and
In
this
this,
fence.
on
which is
the lighthouse side, they put a new fence up down the property line and brought it over
You know when?
off of the lot line
You know when?
within the last year of the renovations they did over there.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
I think the lot is pretty well shielded.
It's hey, that's probably correct. But we have a bylaw with conditions that says he shall.
And
So-
I'm less concerned about the fence, because that seems, at least based on the plan, to have been met. It's that evergreens 4 feet high and not more than however many inches apart.
Yeah. I would condition it to, applicant shall provide screening. Consistent, you don't want to say consistent with the bylaw, but shall provide screening.
That satisfies the purpose of the bylaw.
I love you. Okay. Everybody happy with that? Yes?
Yes.
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 And reshare this. Get back to said conditions here. Authorizing special permit recorded that outside pen fence with the. So we're gonna strike this. Hold on. We should say something about fencing should be maintained and should be in good order.
Shall be maintained to the inspection of the fence viewer, which
Okay.
is the building inspector.
Yep. Okay, I can live with that. And upon recommendation of the fence viewer,
The fence shall be repaired within 30 days.
there you go. Okay. Okay. So that kind of gets rid of that. There shall be in place and subject to the approval of the emergency veterinary plan that includes, but is not limited to the, that I like. Staff will be present at all times on the premises when dogs are present for boarding.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with that.
Can we have daycare and boarding?
Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean, I can't imagine they won't be, given the circumstance here where
Yeah,
the applicant lives there.
There shall be an emergency evacuation plan in place approved by the animal control officer.
Yep.
I like that one. Do we have anything else that we'd like to throw in there? And actually, we're going over these conditions. I don't even have a motion to approve of conditions.
Motion to approve conditions.
Hey, here we
Second.
go. We got a second on that one?
Second.
I got a second on that one. That's a Baker sandwich. All right. So we're almost done with the conditions. I think we're happy there. Does anybody else have any other conditions they want to throw in there? Deb,
I do not.
Deb, are you seeing anything that I'm missing, that we're missing? You're a dog owner.
Only with the talk about the complaints. Like I don't think you can condition that someone has to complain in writing, because they're not gonna put in writing that they got a complaint.
No, I
mean, there's a procedure for complaints already.
Yeah.
At the building department, he won't take complaints unless they're signed.
But they can also complain to Ian.
Yep.
So we can direct to whom the complaints have to be made. We just can't determine the form that they have to take.
But
No, if they go through the building inspector,
he'll
they
reach
have
out
to
to
be-
Ian.
they have to go, and then he'll take them to Ian, but they should be in writing.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
be in writing.
But I don't know that you can condition a third party to do that.
No, I don't think.
Right.
This is
what it's saying. All right. Then write the condition that only complaints that are lawfully filed will be entertained, which would
Can't do that
include.
either. That's not a condition. That's not a condition for the applicant.
Can we do something like we can review it in so much time, a year or something?
Yeah.
Well, we could say to the applicant, if we receive 2 complaints, then we're going to take you under a review or something like that. But I don't know.
Well,
maybe we just say we'll take it under review, in a year if
we can do
receive
that,
a
just
complaint. If
review in a
receive
year.
3
Definitely say
complaints or
that.
whatever.
Review it. The applicant has to come back to the board in 1 year for a review.
Mhm.
And then when it comes to complaints, any and all complaints made to either the building inspector or the animal control officer shall be reviewed individually.
No, we've conditioned special permits where we said, you know, we'll review it in a year if there were 3 complaints filed. And then at that point, we review the complaints before the applicant. But if there weren't any complaints, then the applicant won't have to come back. Didn't we employ something like that as a condition?
Yes.
Because why should we have a fully compliant person who has no complaints come back to us and burden them and burden us unnecessarily?
And I mean, he's been in business for a year and there almost a year, and there haven't been really any complaints.
Right.
I mean, most of the letters that we got, or emails, were people thinking that it was a new business going in. They didn't even know that he had already been operating for almost a year.
And I'm trying to think of the language we use, because Deb reminded of it when she said, obviously we can't condition the conduct of a third party. So we put the burden, actually, if my memory serves correctly, we put the burden on the applicant to bring it back before us. But I don't remember the language that we used.
I still think that 1 year review.
Oh, yeah, no, there was a 1 year review, and at that point, it would be up to the applicant to bring it before us to review any complaints received.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm just wondering if all of a sudden there is a complaint that's received. Do we have to get involved? Let's just say that, you know, in you got the 21-day period that let's say April. All right, April. He's up and running, you know, he's got the permit, everything's cool. He gets a complaint. He gets a noise complaint. Ian goes and looks at it and this, that, the other thing. Do we have to get involved?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, not really, because they're gonna enforce it.
Because Ian's gonna have to enforce it. Okay.
And the building inspector, and then they'll either shut them down or cut them down on the number of dogs.
All right. So 1 year, so a 1 year review would be nice. Again, most specifically because it's a commercial hybrid, but a commercial kennel in a residential zone. So I think a 1 year review is good. If three or more complaints are received prior to the 1 year, then the applicant should come back to us.
Right.
Because that would have to be a review of everything.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yes.
Should we put there we'd have to give us some kind of written response to the complaints on how he's correcting them?
Isn't that what they're coming before the board's about?
Yeah, I would think that would be understood. Because they're coming, if after if 3 complaints were received in under a year, they'd have to be coming to us, and they'd have to address them all anyway. So,
right, but he could at least give us something in advance so that we could understand what the complaints are and what his actions.
Well, that would be all with that. That would all be within the application. That would be documentation, all within the application. Deb, raising hand.
Isn't it up to Ian to kind of deal with that? And if it is a nuisance or a problem, to revoke the kennel license? That's the recourse.
They would have to come before us. we could revoke it.
No, he could,
Ethan could revoke his too.
Or
Ian's got the license, right? He's got the kennel license. We're the special.
with a special permit, but Ian issues the license and it's a yearly license. It has
Yeah,
to
and
be
if-
renewed every year.
And if the
Okay.
license is revoked, that essentially nullifies the special permit.
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to get involved in any of this.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
I agree.
It would be nice to say that. The special permit is conditioned upon the license.
Continued validity of the kennel license.
Yes. Okay.
Now, do we want to say anything about the him having the boutique there too, or whatever he called it? Selling
the who?
Yeah, the apparel stuff. He's selling merchandise.
No, I was wondering about that. The retail, the retail aspect. I mean,
I think he'd have to get a common victor's license or something from those.
How about something like this? The applicant, or whatever we refer to him going forward, shall be in compliance with all other licensing requirements of the town of Rockland.
That sounds good. We put that in all the time.
Yeah, sounds good.
I get nervous about the retail aspect of it because the retail aspect is not allowed in the zone.
Well, that's gonna have to be up to the Board of Selectmen if he has to come back to us for a special permit for that. He didn't ask for
What was he, R2?
3, I believe it was.
It was R3?
R2.
R2. Single to churches, schools, cemetery, public, personal kennel. Home occupation, accessory uses. Home occupations as permitted according to this bylaw. Accessory apartments subject to the provisions, riding steels, commercial boarding or training kennels, commercial breeder, domestic charitable corporation, or veterinary kennel. Yeah, I don't see where a retail component is actually allowed. Can we say that the retail component is an accessory use to a kennel?
Well, he said he only sells to customers unless, or clients, or he like sells them through that other business.
Yeah.
It feels like an accessory use. I mean, I don't know what's a vet office have to do when they sell dog food.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the purpose of the business. And it's an incidental to the business.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I mean, I've never been in a daycare boarding circumstance that didn't sell stuff.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But that wasn't their focus.
Yep.
That was just that was for the customers who were there for other purposes.
Rega, turn that off.
If you have a gas station with a convenience store, you need a common victor's license to sell cigarettes and soda and all of that stuff. Plus a license to sell the fuel.
So in getting back to what Mr. Baker Jr. said, shall be compliant with all the rules and regs.
All of the licensing requirements of the town of Rockland. That gets us out of trying to separate what's under our purview, what's somebody else's.
And he can ask Tom, and Tom may say you don't need it.
Yeah. And then
My
the only,
thermostat has gone into overnight mode. I just have to change it. Excuse me.
the only other thing that I had that I had a question on was, the washing aspect of it, you know, the grooming aspect.
Yes.
Not so, I can't, for some reason, I can't think that I don't see that that's
Well, where would he be doing it though?
accessory. I can't see that that's an accessory use. I don't know about that.
Again, it's something that's not necessarily uncommon in boarding and in daycare, but
Right.
it's not always. I think that would be less likely to be considered an accessory use than, selling various products to customers who are there for other purposes.
Yeah. Well, I still
The
think
only thing that I would question is what the sewer department would think. If he would have to have some kind of trap outside to catch the dog here.
Yeah, and I'm thinking if this is the indoor operation is taking place in a residential setting, right? In his house. I can't imagine that there's going to be, even if he were to offer that service, that there's going to be any kind of a volume that would cause a concern by the water department, by the sewer department, or anyone else.
You got a point. Should we condition it that he runs it by them?
What was that? He runs it what?
Should we condition it that he runs it by the sewer department and the water department?
I think the water department I think it's more the sewer department, getting
Oh, why don't we just say you can't wash dogs?
Well, I don't want to say that he can't.
Right.
I want to say that he can't, but again, I want to give him the opportunity to do so, because I do agree. I do find it hard to. I don't know. It's a little bit of a stretch for me to consider it an accessory, accessory to the primary use. But I could see it. I could see it. I could see that being a thing. So
I don't even see a zone that approves animal grooming. What zone even approves it?
Well, they have that soapy dog place up on Hingham Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that a listed business for use for a zone?
There's one up on Union Street.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, how you can only have light industrial stuff in the light industrial zone, like what zone actually already authorizes the use for animal grooming?
B1.
B1 up in center of town.
Yeah.
There's one right across from the fire station.
Yeah, but what covers it? What's the business type that's covered under? It's not laundry and dry cleaning. It's not barber. You know what I mean? Like,
my dog refers to it as his spa day.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't seem to care that. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to be any accessory to his business. He didn't seem. I mean, he was like, yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't think he's intending to set something up to do that.
No, I don't think so either.
And I think he did make a reference
and because he's not set up to do it, and he really is not into it, or I think he's pretty much at his limit right now with
Let's
what he's
review it in a
proposed.
year. Let's
What's
review
that?
it in a year. Let's review it in a year and see what happens.
Yeah,
sounds
At the end
good.
of the year, if he's washing 20 dogs a week. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I said let's let it go for right now, and
Sounds
let's
good.
look at it in a year.
All right.
Yes.
I'm with you, Rob.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll leave it undiscussed. Is that basically the plan?
It's not that it's undiscussed. It's just that we know that we know that it's questionable, but I
He said he
think
might do one or two a
yeah.
week.
Well,
I can
after a
say
year, we can discuss it and find out what he's doing, what he's
what kind
not
of volume it
doing.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we need more controls, we'll adjust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
What else we got? Anything? Anybody?
Nope.
Bueller?
No, no.
No, nothing for me.
Deb, you got all that stuff?
I'm good.
Anything else you want to throw in there?
No.
I got a motion to approve with conditions. Who made that motion?
I did.
Mr. Baker Senior. I
Yes.
got a motion to, I got a second on that. That was Mr. Baker Junior.
Yep.
Gonna roll call, Mr. Tansy.
Yes.
Myself is a yes, Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Baker Junior.
Yes, sir.
Whoop. There it is. All right, 14 days she has to write the decision. This is Littles, Brandon, this is for you. If you wanna talk real quick.
Hello.
14 days, 14 days, she has to write the decision. Once she records the decision, 21 days, let that pass.
Okay.
Then go into the town clerk, get a certificate of no appeal, and and then take the decision and record it at the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
And then there you go.
Did you want to tell them about the
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say that I don't sell anything out of here.
Okay, it's too late. Can't talk about it anyway.
Okay. Okay.
So we don't want to hear about it.
Gotcha.
So just do what you're doing. Just watch for complaints. Just watch for repeats. All right. We had somebody already talking about a possible appeal. So just pay attention to that.
Yep.
All right. So that's number one. Number two, if there's no appeals, you're fine. Record it. Pay attention to the complaints. All right. It's again, if there are no complaints, we're perfect. Then worst case scenario, we'll talk in a year. Review everything, make sure that everything's going well, and then there you go.
Awesome.
All right, rock and roll.
Thank you, guys.
What else we got here, guys?
Thank you.
That. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. What else do we got on here? Notice is hereby given that a virtual remote public meeting will be held at 7:40 p.m. on February 18th, 2025 by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals. The purpose of the meeting is to review proposed vote to approve meeting minutes. Guess who didn't read the minutes?
Well, you know what? That's okay because I was gonna double check to make sure that I had the motions and seconded by, and I didn't double check that, so they're highlighted, so you don't even have to.
Would you like to?
I wasn't at that meeting, Deb.
So you can't approve them as written.
No, you got me making motions.
Oh, so yeah, that's why I highlighted it.
There we go. Okay.
So can we just skip over that till next week?
All right,
Sounds good.
let's table that until next week. And notice 7:45. Notice here that a virtual promo. Notice is hereby given that a virtual remote public meeting will be held at 7:35 p.m. on February 4th, 2025. February 4th.
Oh, did I say that?
February 4th. I'm assuming it's a February 18th.
Oh, because I copied it. Yeah.
By the Rockland Zoning Board. The purpose of this meeting is for discussion of proposed zoning bylaw changes. I will be the first person to say that I haven't touched it since the last meeting.
I haven't.
Who had Mr. Baker Jr.? Do you remember what you had from the last meeting?
Oh, how could I forget? I have fortune tellers.
Fortune tellers, soothsayers.
Yeah.
Medium. Oh, I've got a whole list of other I'm not kidding you. Just to give you a status on it, I have a definition. I haven't gotten further than that because virtually there is certainly no definition under state law. I think I used Salem's, but I expanded on that.
Okay.
But the reference that, there's our building commissioner, Tom. The Tom gave is actually the town of, I think, Salem's permitting statute, not the permitting bylaw, not the ordinance, not the zoning. So I'm kind of going from scratch because I can't find any municipality, town or city, at least the ones I've looked at, that have anything similar. Just a couple of suggestions. The state does have two requirements for people to operate a business. One of which is that they've been licensed for a year to conduct that business. Because I think there would be confusion if we made this as a right. What we should do is by special permit. Only because if we say by right, that could lead folks to think that they don't need to comply with those other licensure. I'm obviously in the stage of fleshing this out. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's all right. So, but it still comes down to a special permit situation. It's not a.
Well, but one of the things we had originally discussed when we were signing this was, do we do by right or special permit? I think it's very definitely special permit.
All right. All right. Who else? Mr. Baker Senior, what did you have?
I haven't.
What'd you have?
I haven't gotten into it yet.
What did you? Do you remember what you had though?
Yeah. Definition of structure.
Okay.
I've been incapacitated for a while.
Yes, you have. It's fine.
With this cold.
No excuses necessary, sir. This is going to take us all time. So it's just to know that you remember what you had. That says a lot, dude. Okay, for zoning changes, other items not reasonably anticipated or listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent allowed by law. Deb?
Got nothing.
Got nothing?
I got nothing.
Got nothing.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I got a motion to adjourn. Do I got a second?
Second.
I got a second. Did we lose Mr. Tansey?
Yeah, he's trying to get back on.
I went out too.
Yeah, all right. So motion to adjourn. I got a second. Roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Galley.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.